Good morning, students. Today we'll discuss the second chapter, that is Principles of Mental Health Nursing. So there are many principles in nursing we will follow whenever we are providing care to the patient at bedside. So in general, we see safety and prevention of injuries and good communication with the patients and all. So like that, there are many principles involving in the psychiatry and to deal with the psychiatric patients. Why? Because the patients may not listen and they may be in the disturbed mental function. So we should be very patient to deal with the psychiatric patients. So let us see, there are nearly 12 principles are there. These principles are very important for us whenever we are working in the psychiatric wards or settings to deal with the psychiatric patients. Then there are general principles that apply to care of all who show behavior disorders. Everyone has certain basic needs that must be met no matter what disease he is suffering from. Principles are general, which are applicable to mentally ill patients as well as physically ill, where his illness is usually emotional disturbance. And these principles are based on the concepts that each individual has an intrinsic worth and dignity and he has potentially to grow. The following principles are general in nature and from guidelines for emotional care of a patient. The first principle is accept the patient exactly as he is. It is self-explanatory. Accept the patient exactly as he is. So acceptance conveys the feelings of being loved and cared. It provides that the patient with an experience which is emotionally neutral, where he finds unlearning of his sick behavior is less threatening before he can learn the art with others. That means the patient is ugly, for example, if patient is not responding, patient may be crying and laughing, we should not disagree the patient. So we have to agree the patient behavior, that is called as accept the patient as he is. Acceptance does not mean complete permissiveness but setting of positive behavior to convey to him the respect as an individual human being. Acceptance is expressed in the following ways. So we should follow some ways to accept the patient. That is, first one is being non-judgmental and non-punitive. That is, we should not judge the patient by his behavior and we should not do any punishments like chainings or beating or keeping in their dark room and also being non-judgmental and non-punitive. So it shows that the patient may be understand nurses are accepting patients. That is, we don't judge patient's behavior as right or wrong, good or bad. Patient is not punished for his undesired behavior. All direct and indirect methods of punishing must be avoided. Chaining, restraining, putting him in a separate room are some of the direct punishments. Those we should not do. Ignoring his presence or withdrawing his importance is few ways of giving indirect punishments. So these are all the things we should not do. So we should have, that is, being non-judgmental and non-punitive. Second one, being sincerely interested in the patient. So whenever we are providing care, we should have concern to the patient and we are very sincere towards the patient and towards the patient care. This can be demonstrated by studying the patient behavior pattern before going to the bedside, making the patient aware in a manner that you are interested in him, seeking out a patient, using time spent with him on these things he is interested in, being aware of his likes and dislikes, explain when his demands cannot be met, dealing with his comments, compliments and expressions of approval realistically, accepting his fears as real to him, avoiding subjects on which he feels sensitive, listening to him. So these are the activities we should maintain towards the patient for the sincere interest in the patient. Then next one, for accepting the patient as he is, recognizing and reflecting on feelings which patient may express. The nurse act as a sounding board for patient's strong or negative feelings. The nurse develops skills identifying the feelings actually expressed. For example, when a patient says, I would like to break someone's neck, we understand that he is angry at somebody and expressing the anger. So we have to accept, okay, later we will do like that. We have to console the patient. Just we have to understand the patient behavior. Then talking with purpose. So nurse's conversation with a patient must resolve around his needs, wants and interests. Direct approaches like reflection, open-end questions, focusing on a point, presenting reality is more effective when the problems are not obvious. Avoiding evaluative hostile problem responses which may be helping the patient to have some problems. So this is the talking with the purpose. So always be polite and calm and simple language, understandable language. We must talk with the purpose. So which reflects mainly by open-ended questions. So why open-ended questions means, if you ask closed-ended means that indicates yes or no. So the patient may not speak to you openly. So open-ended means where the patient can give more information about the patient. Then last point is listening. So listening is an active process. 2 years required for what the patient says verbally, and third year is required for what patient otherwise non-verbally say. So these are the important points to accept the patient. Permitting the patients to express strongly held feelings. Strong emotions bottled up are potentially explosive and dangerous. It is better to permit the patient to express his strong feelings without disposal or punishment. Feeling of anxiety, fear, hostility, hatred or anger should be expected, tolerated and allowed to expressions. The nurse must accept the expressions of patient's negative feelings quickly and calmly. So these are the important points to accept the patient as he is. So the first principle, accept the client whatever he shows behavior. So by accepting, we have to follow being non-judgmental and non-punitive, being sincerely interested towards the patient care, and recognize and reflecting on the feeling of the patient's expressions, talking to a purpose, and we should be a good listener, and permitting the patient to express strongly held, that is feelings of the client. So these are all the points to maintain the accept the patient as he is. The second principle is use self-understanding as a therapeutic tool. So self-understanding, as a nurse, before going to the bedside, we should know our capabilities, strengths, weakness, abilities, etc. so that we can smoothly deal with the patients. So self-understanding leads to understanding to others. Patient's behavior can produce lot of anxiety or fear in the nurse, and she ought understand why she is anxious or frightened. We can understand ourselves better by exchanging personal experience freely with our colleagues, discussing our personal reaction with an experienced person, participating in group conferences regarding our patient care, and even we have to do introspective on the feeling what we do with the patient. So this is the self understanding. So self understanding is important to understand others also. Then third principle is use consistent behavior to increase patient's emotional security. So in this principle, patient to be consistently and continuously exposed to an atmosphere of quiet acceptance. Permissiveness to be limited, example with homicidal, suicidal, hyperactive and suspicious patients. So patient is allowed to feel as he does, but limitations are put on his behavior. Attempts to win patients liking is most disarteous for the patient. So use consistency behavior. So permissiveness to be limited. That is always we should be optimistic. That is positive understanding. Otherwise, if the patient has this permissiveness with any ideas like suicides, homicides or hyperactive suspicious, those we should be very careful, make them to be optimistic and positive towards the behavior and their life. Then fourth principle is give reassurance to patients acceptable manner. So always give reassurance in building patient confidence or restoring his confidence. While giving reassurance, we must avoid saying to the patient, you will get well, nothing to worry. Like that positive statements we should not give. Just reassurance. It takes time to recovery. So we will continue the treatment. Like that statements only we have to give. These statements like you will get well, nothing to worry, I am here to help you, like those statements we should not give during the reassurance process. Reassurance can be given in the following manner. Be truly interested in patient problem. Pay attention to the patient matter, however significantly it may be. Allow him to be as sick as needs to be. Be aware how the patient actually feels. Sit besides patient when he does not want to talk. Accept patient's silence. Listen to problems without showing surprise. Agree with his problem and think with him to solve the problem. So these are all the activities done by the nurses to provide the reassurance to the patients. The next fifth principle is change the patient behavior through the emotional experience rather than the not by rational experience. So major focus in psychiatry is on feeling, accept and not on intellectual aspects. Telling and advising the patient is not effective in changing behavior. Role play and emotional drama and transactional analysis are few ways of creating emotional experience. Then when an alcoholic is told that his drunkard behavior is more hurting to his wife and children are does not agree to our interpretation. So what the same acted by a role of his wife, children and alcoholic, he gains more understanding. Understanding cannot be forced as insight, and understanding one's own behavior is painful. Then interpretation is only done when patients are ready. So like that we have to do interpretation. So the patient himself, he has to understand about his behavior. In that manner we have to show some role plays or dramas in front of the patient to understand himself. Then avoid unnecessary increasing in patient's anxiety. So always we should provide comfortable environment and suitable persons in front of the patients to avoid anxiety in the patients, because anxiety already is more in the psychiatric patients, so avoid situations which create more anxiety. So anxiety is a feeling of fear of unknown object or event. It is a threat to the biological integrity of a person. So psychiatric patients have already some amount of anxiety, so psychiatric nurses should not further increase their anxiety by contracting his psychotic ideas, demanding the patient to complete set tasks, making him to face repeated failure, using big sentences, professional terms while talking with him, careless conversation with the patients. Then calling attention to patient's defect, being insincere while caring, giving no orientation to ward and co-patient staff policies, routine and procedures, treat passing sharp comments and showing indifference, asking questions about family, friends and home in first meeting, showing nurses own anxiety on the patient. So these all the activities should not done, because these points may create more anxiety in the patients. Then seventh principle is demonstrate objective observation to understanding and interpret the meaning of patient's behavior. So we need to observe the patient when he says or does. Only we have to observe the patient indirectly whenever he is doing some activities or while speaking, etc. Analysis of the observation should be done to draw the motivation or purpose behind his talk and action. While working with the patient, learn his basic problems, guess what he will do. Keep asking yourself what is the goal of patient and why he behaves like this. We have to think ourselves whenever we are talking with the patient and depending upon the responses of the patient. Be objective, and objectivity is not coldness, but it is indifference and absence of feelings and ability not to let own judgments confused. So these are all the points we have to remember. Then indications for lack of objectivity in nurses' observations are: nurse is critical of a patient, defending or justifying herself, demanding that the patient should her in a certain way, evaluating the patient's behavior right or wrong. Then next, eighth principle is realistic and professional relationship. Realistic and professional relationship focuses on the personal and emotional needs of patient. It is therapeutically oriented and planned. It is always based on patient needs. Nurses differentiate between patients' demands and actual needs. It is for purpose or bringing adaptiveness and integration and maturity in relations. So maintain realistic nurse-patient relationship. So always we should keep in mind therapeutic communication with the purpose and goal oriented. We have to plan and assess the patient regarding the treatment and focus, and avoid physical and verbal force as much as possible. So physical like restraints and verbal like sharp commands while talking with the patients in hurting manner we should not do. So any kind of force results in psychological trauma in patient. Restraining the violent patient, an example, physical restraints. If all needs to be used, the following points to be kept in mind while caring the patient. Carry out the procedures quickly, firmly and effectively. Do not show anger while tying. Tell him the reason and tell that he will be allowed to mix with others when he gets the control on him. Attend his needs as usual. Never show him that he is being punished. After becomes controlled, never remind him again about incidents. So these type of activities we should not done to the patient. And nursing care is a centers on the patients as a person and not on control of symptoms. So we have to see the patient and patient behavior only we have to do, and towards the patient the symptoms we have to do. That is, every problem is caused understanding the meaning and behavior behind the behavior. Two patients showing the same symptoms but maybe different needs. Example, one may have headache due to sleeplessness and another may have due to hypoglycemia. So analysis and study of symptom is necessary to reveal their meaning and their significance to patient. So in the same manner, in the schizophrenia patients, two patients are same but the signs and symptoms and their needs will be different. We have to understand their problem personally, that is separately from one patient to another patient. We have to focus on the patient, not on the signs and symptoms. Then explain routine procedures at patient understanding level. So in ward routines daily we will do these routines. So every patient has right to know what is being done and why it is being done on him. Every procedure should be explained at understanding level to reduce the anxiety. Character of explanation depends on patient attention, level of anxiety and level of ability to decide. So an example, if the patient prescribed as the electroconvulsive therapy, we should explain the patient and as well as family members regarding ECT, that is electroconvulsive therapy, what is the purpose of ECT, the indications, procedure, pre-care and during care and post-procedure care to be explained, so that the patient and family members will have less frightening towards the procedure and they will be accept our steps. Then next one is last principle, that is many procedures are modified but basic remains unaltered. So the basic principles we have to follow whenever we do any care or any procedure to the patient. Nursing principles remain same, such as safety while caring, provide comfort during the procedures, We have to see the patient as an individual and provide privacy during the procedure, maintain therapeutic effectiveness and workmanship during the procedure, and we have to maintain economy of time, energy and material. So these are the many principles we will follow. Same in nursing, even the mental nursing clients also we have to follow these principles. So these are the 12 principles we will follow while caring the patient. So the first principle is accepting the patient as he is. Second one is use self-understanding as a therapeutic tool. Third one, use consistent behavior to increase patient's emotional security. Fourth one, give reassurance to patient in an acceptable manner. Then fifth one, change patient's behavior through emotional experience, not by rational interpretation. Then sixth principle, avoid unnecessary increase in the patient anxiety. Then seventh one, demonstrate objective observation to understand and interpret the meaning of the patient behavior. Then maintain realistic nurse-patient relationship. Avoid physical and verbal force as much as possible. Nursing care is centered on the patient as a person and not on control of symptoms. 11th principle, explain routine procedures at patient's understanding level. Last one, many procedures are modified but basic remains unaltered. So these are the principles we have to follow whenever we are dealing with the psychiatric patients. So it is important and essay question for the public examination also. Thank you.